Today we're learning What a Wonderful World. To purchase a copy of the sheet music that I'm using today, you can follow the link in the description below. In this lesson, I'm going to go over the entire song section by section and break it down for you. Alright, so I'll start by playing the very beginning of this piece for you. It should sound just like this. It's such a beautiful melody, and whenever you think of it, you think of all the good things in the world, and everybody just wants to sigh. So it's really nice to play, and it's nice to listen to. We're going to start with the left hand today. The left hand has very consistent fingering. So the fingering is 5, 3, 2, 1 all the time. No matter what notes we play, we always play 5, 3, 2, 1, which is really nice for us. So we're going to start just by playing the left hand alone. I'll show you what notes we hit. So we start with F, A, C, and F. And whenever we play this pattern, we always go up and then back down. And then in our next grouping, we would change the notes around. And that pattern happens a couple times, at least in the intro. So I'm going to play it for you hands together at half speed, and you can see how this works. You can see our hand is always just keeping that same fingering, moving around the different notes. Our right hand has a very simple melody. So we're in the key of F major, meaning we'll have some B flats coming through sometimes. Other than that, we have whole notes, eighth notes, half notes, pretty standard. So I'm going to play just the right hand, and you can see what our pattern will be. A to F, A to G, good. Now, I played that melody for you alone because the tricky part about this piece is when we have to put these hands together. And the reason for that is because we have in the left hand triplets. So you can see these little threes above each bracket. So that means a triplet, which means we fit 3 notes in one beat. So we would count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that's really nice and easy to count when triplets are alone. What is difficult is when you have to put triplets with another kind of rhythm, like an 8th note. So right here, we have triplet plus 8th note. Now this takes a little bit of coordination. So very slowly, I'm just going to take that rhythm and put them on the 2 C's. So if I play a triplet here, and I play 2 8th notes, which we would count 1 and or 2 and, we have to put those together, and it would sound like this. Now that's how it is fast. Let me take it for you slow. We play them together. Then the left, then the right, then the left. And what this is doing is it's combining 2 rhythms that shouldn't be combined. They don't actually ever really line up very well. It's really bad math. So we're going to put it together, and you have to just be very, very good at coordination. So you go together, left, right, left. Together, left, right, left. And I would do that a lot. Practice it on the piano, practice it on your lap, and practice it many times in a row, because eventually in this piece we do have to do it many times in a row. So let's try. Together, left, right, left. Together, left, right, left. Together. And the ultimate test to know that you're doing this rhythm perfectly is if you can say one of the rhythms and play both of them at the same time, and then switch. So watch this. Triplet, triplet, duple, duple, triplet, triplet, duple, duple. It's really fun, I have to say. So take some time, work through this rhythm. It's kind of like when you have to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. But eventually it will become very natural to you, and that is the key to really succeeding at this piece. All right, so now that we've talked about that, why don't we go back to this piece? I'm going to play these duples against triplets for you at half time, and you can see how they'll fit in. I'm going to start right where my box is, where our first triplet against duple is. Right there, you'll notice that we actually meet with both the hands. We have two triplets there, and this is a really nice part in the piece where our hands finally get to play at exactly the same time. I'll play it again so you can catch it. Starting from here. Together. All right, very last part of this section, the What a Wonderful World. And lucky for us, this is our last complicated rhythm. So here we have eighth note triplets, and here we have a quarter note triplet. Now don't be freaked out by that. It's not as hard as it looks. Basically, you just line up the notes in twos. So you would put the E with the C, the F with the B flat, and the G with the other B flat. And they just end up kind of sounding like quarter note, eighth note groupings. One more time. And there you go. That's the first section. Another thing that you can do as you're learning these left-hand chords is you can actually, I'll say that again. Another thing you can do as you're learning your left hand is actually look at these patterns as a whole, gather all the notes together, and you'll see that they form chords. So even in our first grouping, we have F, A, C, and F, and these are the only notes that happen in that group. So if we put all those together, this is an F major chord. And another great thing that you can do is you can look at the very top and check the guitar chord. The guitar chord's a really good hint. Sometimes it's not right, so you always have to double check the piano part. But if you look up at the guitar chord, it will give you an idea of what is in your left hand, and then you can learn it faster. So you can see we have F chord here. And then our next group, we have F, B flat, D, G. And up here we have G minor over F, which is exactly what we're playing in our left hand. And so what you can do is you can go through this whole section comparing the guitar chords to the left hand and gathering all the notes together. And this will make so many notes on the page look much simpler to you because it gathers things and it kind of forms patterns instead of just lots of notes. Okay, page 2 is almost exactly the same as page 1, so we're going to skip through most of it. I will play it for you, and then we'll pick up on page 3. So this is page 2. I'm going to start right here. Page 2, pretty well exactly the same as page 3. The one thing I will point out is they've taken some of the melody notes and they've just added chords to them. So same top note, but they've filled it out. They've added the rest of the notes in the triad. And again, if you want to kind of cheat and look up at the guitar chords for help, you can see that the A minor chord in the guitar is also the right hand of our melody. Okay. Page 3. This is the contrasting section of the song. Alright, so let's dig in. Remember how we had in our first page this F-A-C-E 5-3-2-1 pattern? Well, I didn't lie. It's still 5-3-2-1. However, we have to extend way further than how far we've been extending before. What we've been doing is what we call a closed position 4-note triad or 4-note chord, where all the notes are in order. In this section, we have taken that and we are doing an extended position all the way to here. So in an extended position, we're taking the notes of the chord. In this case, we're in a C7 chord. So a closed position C7 triad is C, E, G, B flat. Here, we're going C, third finger to B flat, C, E. So it's a huge jump between 3 and 5. And when we put that with our right hand, again, those pesky 2 against 3s. And you can see when I do this with my hand, I don't try and stretch my fingers because it's just impossible. My hand just isn't that big. So when you play this arpeggio, you want to make sure that you're moving sideways across the keys, not with your wrist, that's unnatural, but kind of drawing a rainbow with your knuckles, going around and around, back and forth, drawing this arc over the keys. I'll show you again what it looks like. So back and forth, and don't even worry if you have to jump. If I took my pedal away, you would hear my jump. But that's what the pedal's for. It's very good at hiding those little spots where we have to do little bunny hops across the keys. All right, so back to hands together. I mentioned before that this is another 2 against 3 section. I'm going to show you one way that you can help yourself figure out these 2 against 3s. And a really nice way that I liked to do it is I put lines across the music so that I can see exactly where everything lines up. So I know that these 2 are together, then my left hand has nothing lined up, and then my right hand has nothing lined up, and then my left hand is nothing again, and then together. And so I draw these little lines across all of my music when I want to be really clear to see what is together, what is hands together, what is not, and which one plays when. Now I'm going to play this again for you quite slowly, and we'll walk through it together. So it's together, left, right, left, together, left, right, left, together, left, right, left. That's it. So I'll show you one more time. Now a little faster. And you'll hear the faster we go, the more natural it starts to sound. When you're super slow, it will just be more just straight choreography, trying to get your hands moving together. And then even as you start to go faster, you'll start to hear what it will sound like, and everything will fall into place. So keep at it and you'll get it eventually. Okay, so we've made it halfway down the page. Now we're going to move to the second half of the page. This one in a way is easier. We have simpler rhythms. They're just straight triplets to start and then duples. They are not together. So you can see the triplet here and then 2/8 notes and then triplet and then another triplet, triplet, 2/8 notes. So I'll play it for you and show you. So triplet, 1 and a duple, triplet, and a 2, triplet. So there's your rhythm. Now, as far as the notes go, this is the first time we've had just straight octaves in the left hand. Nothing too much to worry about. We start on D, then E, then F, then G. Pretty simple. Right hand, this uses 4-note chords in solid position. Now, some of you with small hands might find this challenging. So I want to really encourage you to practice this a lot. So pinky, and then 1, 2, 3 reaches for a D minor triad. And you do that same pattern here. And we repeat that. D minor. Now, if your hands are too small to reach that, very nice way to modify is to take out the bottom note. So instead of doing a full D minor triad, you can just do the top 2 notes. All right, then last line. Here we go, I'll play it for you. So we have more duples, more triplets. Here's your triplet, triplet, triplet. Duples are right here. So these are the duples. As far as the notes go, I'll play it slow and you can follow through. We start on the white notes. And then we do something called an F sharp diminished 7th chord. So we add a bunch of black notes. And then we repeat those for our triplet. Then onto the second bar. Back to our diminished 7th chord, which just looks a little different because it's in a different inversion. And we get to C major. Nice and easy. So I'll string that together for you at half speed and you can see what that will look like. Last page, here we go. It's very similar to the first page and the second page because it's the same melody. So I'll play it for you first. leave you hanging. All right, so this is very similar to all of the stuff we've done on the last couple pages. The only difference is right here, right in the last bar. So instead of playing the first ending that we did before, we do this extra little addition. So listen, right here. And that prepares us for the coda. So now I'll play you the coda. Feel free to play this section very slowly with lots of pauses. We have even in the score a rallentando here and then even another one, rit. So these there are two different words meaning the same thing, rallentando and ritardando. They both mean slow down. And when they're written twice, that's a pretty good clue that you want to play this section slowly. So we'll play these two ways and then we play this really neat chord. So we have B flat, D, F, A, and then a triplet, quarter note triplet, so it's kind of slow. Together it would sound like this. And then this is familiar territory. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check out my other videos on What a Wonderful World to see my tips in action, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Merriam's Online Academy. Check back here for more videos and don't forget to subscribe below.